The hall of the Galactic Council was loud. Lights flashed across polished silver walls, and delegates from over 100 species argued, laughed, and passed judgment. The tall chairs of the central ring were filled with proud ambassadors each, speaking for their world, and at the far end, Earth's representative sat quietly. His name was Ambassador Kieran Holt. He was human, dressed not in shining armor or glowing robes like the others, but in a plain black suit. He had not spoken in over an hour. He listened. He watched. He waited. "Earth has no vote here," said the Zern delegate, his voice sharp and insect-like. "They have failed to pay tribute for the third cycle. Silence is disrespect." Another voice joined in. A Sathari noble raised her glass. "Remove them from the council. Let them go back to their dark little system." Laughter followed. It was cruel, loud, long, but Chiron did not react. He slowly stood up. The room grew quieter. He walked toward the center of the chamber. No holograms, no bodyguards, just a man, a human. Alone, when he reached the central platform, he looked around the room. Eyes of all shapes and colors watched him. Some curious, some amused, most bored. Then he spoke just one line. "Earth withdraws its membership from the Galactic Council, effective immediately." Double quote, "Silence real, full silence." The vehicle ambassador blinked. "Is this a threat?" "No," said Chiron calmly. "This is a choice." "Can't just leave," said another. "There are protocols, procedures." Chiron nodded. He followed them. "You ignored them. Now, Earth is done." He turned to leave. "Sit down, human," roared a voice. But he didn't. He walked. Slowly, with no fear. The doors opened. He stepped out, and they closed behind him. For a few seconds, the chamber was frozen. Then the voices returned, dangry, confused, mocking. "Foolish species, they'll come crawling back. They need us." But Earth never called again. In the days that followed, nothing was heard from humans. No ships arrived, no messages, no trade. The humans had vanished. At first, the council didn't care. Earth was small after all, only one world. Yes, they had influence in trade, science, and energy, but they were still young compared to the older races. Then strange things began to happen. The first sign came quietly. A merchant ship from the Varn Confederacy tried to dock at Earth's moon station. It was denied access. No signal, no warning. Just a closed gate. The second ship was a diplomatic vessel. It vanished before reaching the solar border. Still, the council laughed. "Let them hide," they said. "Let the humans sulk." But the days kept passing, and more things stopped working. Human-made software used by thousands of alien ships began to lock out users. No warning. Just shut down navigation systems powered by Earth's quantum maps blinked out. Medical tools made by Terran scientists refused to start. A single whisper spread across the stars. Earth didn't leave. Earth locked the door. In council meetings, panic slowly replaced pride. Delegates asked for updates, for reasons, for solutions. No one had answers. Finally, they tried sending a probe, a fast, cloaked device designed to scan the solar system from orbit. It disappeared. Then came a recording. It was short, simple, only 2 words. Not welcome. For the first time in years, the council didn't laugh. They remembered something. A line from a Terran general long ago. "Humans are quiet before storms. If they go silent, you've already lost." Now, Earth was silent, and the galaxy was starting to feel the cost at first. The galaxy thought Earth was only being dramatic. Most believed the humans would come back. They always came back, didn't they? But 2 weeks after Earth left the Galactic Council, things started breaking. It began small. One cargo ship from the Yellery Union reported that its engine AI had frozen. The technician tried everything. Restart, reset, rewrite. Nothing worked. The engine was powered by a Terran-built quantum regulator. It simply blinked red and said no connection, no access. A few hours later, dozens of ships across different systems reported similar problems. Cargo routes halted. Spaceports delayed flights. Communication relays made by Earth stopped responding. Pattern began to form. It was terrifying. Anything built with Earth's help stopped working. For decades, the galaxy had quietly depended on human innovation. Earth was the first species to unlock stable dark drive engines. They made the best AI assistants. Their zero-gravity medical tech saved thousands. Their cyber defense systems guarded planets, and now all of it was offline. One engineer on a mining colony screamed, "The humans left us blind." Inside the council, panic grew. Emergency meetings were held. Delegates shouted across the chambers, "Restart the networks! Replace the systems! Send tech teams to Earth!" But no ships could reach Earth, not one. The system was surrounded by strange, invisible walls, no energy readings, no radio signals, no way in. They called it the Terran Silence Field. A Zarkon general growled, "Earth isn't hiding. They're cutting us off, one system at a time." A new message appeared on several galactic terminals. Plain text, human style. No audio, no signature. "You laughed, you mocked, you used. Now, live without us." Some thought it was fake, but then the Terran trade grid, which connected over 4,000 colonies, went offline in a blink. Millions of shipments were lost mid-route. Food supplies, medicine, machinery, all gone. Piracy exploded. Panic spread. Civil unrest began on 5 major planets. The humans had left the council. But their absence was more dangerous than any war. One ambassador from the Whirl Empire finally spoke the words that others were too proud to say. "We underestimated Earth. We depended on them more than we knew." The truth was painful. Every galactic database had at least some Terran software inside, half of the Council's defense. Shields used human encryption, and 3 major starports ran entirely on Terran control cores, one by one. They were going dark, eh? Desperate counselor from the Rizzle Dominion suggested sending a peaceful envoy. Let us talk to them, apologize. But no message reached Earth. Every signal bounced back, and 1 day later, the Council's central AI named VOX-9 crashed without warning. It rebooted once, only to display one message on the chamber's massive screen. "We asked for respect. You gave us orders." That was the last thing it ever said. Now the Council could not vote, could not monitor systems, could not enforce laws. Chaos had begun in one outer system. A space station exploded due to a failed cooling grid designed by Turans. In another, automated agriculture farms shut down, crops rotted, people starved, and still, Earth said nothing, not one threat, not one demand, just silence. That silence became the loudest sound in the galaxy. People feared that. Earth was watching, judging, waiting. Some believed Earth had a master plan. Others feared the humans had left because they knew something terrible was coming. But one thing was now clear. Earth didn't need to attack. They had already won by simply walking away. They brought the galaxy to its knees, and no one knew what was coming next. It started with whispers. A mining colony in the Zenthor belt sent out a distress signal. A shaky voice. Single sentence. "They're here, but it's not war. It's something worse." Then silence. When a patrol ship arrived, 6 hours later, the entire colony was empty. No blood, no bodies, no signs of battle. Just flickering lights, dropped tools, and one terminal still active. On its screen, one line glowed in pale blue. "We told you." The Galactic Council tried to hide the incident. But word spread fast. Then another colony went silent. Then another. Within 1 week, 9 colonies near human borders had disappeared without any explosion, without a single survivor. No wreckage, no escape pods. Just gone. The Council's Security Command sent a fleet of drones to investigate. Most of them didn't return. The few that did brought back haunting footage. A children's school, completely intact, but no children. A spaceport with hot coffee still steaming, but no people. Music still playing on public speakers in a ghost city. The song? An old Earth melody. Soft, slow, sad. The lyrics echoed in English. You laughed at the storm. And now the clouds are here. ... Many alien species had translators, but even those who didn't felt a chill in their bones. The footage shook the council. Chambers, they're not killing, whispered one ambassador. They're erasing. But who was doing it? The humans? Machines? Something else? A nervous delegate from the Quarren system said, "What if Earth didn't just leave?" What if they changed? The question hung in the air. There were rumors deep human science projects. AI networks hidden beneath Earth's crust, secret cloning operations, but nobody ever believed them. Now, those old stories returned, louder than ever. The Council finally sent one of their finest warships, the Radiant Truth, to the edge of Sal, the human solar system. It was a massive dreadnought with over 3,000 trained warriors from 14 different species. It was built for war, equipped with the galaxy's most advanced scanners. It didn't return for 3 days. Nothing, then one final message arrived. A video file. It opened to static, and a face appeared. Human, female, young. Young, wearing an old Earth uniform. Her eyes were calm. Her voice soft. You wanted to test us. You wanted to make us beg. You laughed. Now we take only what is owed. Behind her, blurred shapes moved, quiet, precise, mechanical. Some looked like drones. Others weren't clear. Then the screen glitched. The woman leaned forward and whispered, "This isn't war. This is memory." The screen went black. The council erupted into chaos. Some called it terrorism. Others believed Earth had unlocked something ancient, some force they now controlled. A weapon? A race? A collective mind? The Sorth Emperor made a public broadcast calling Earth a threat to galactic peace, but his signal cut out mid-sentence. When his palace guards entered his chamber, he was gone. Vanished. His personal room untouched. His communicator still on his tea. Still warm. Just one word was scratched into the table's surface. Balance. Across the stars, people began to panic. Trade routes collapsed. Allied planets shut their borders. Some even begged Earth for forgiveness despite receiving no reply. A few brave ones tried sending gifts. Gold, rare minerals, art from royal vaults. Every ship that entered Sol carrying such tribute was stopped mid-flight. Not by missiles, but by nothing. The ship simply froze in space, then slowly turned around escorted by something invisible. Not one ship saw what it was, but all of them came, back with the same strange update on their ship logs. Message received. Not required. Now the galaxy was afraid, not of destruction, but of silence, because Earth wasn't making demands, wasn't attacking openly, wasn't speaking, and still, entire colonies were disappearing. One pirate broadcast a shaky, panicked message leaked onto the dark channels. I saw it. A black ship, massive, with no lights. It didn't fire. It just hovered above the station. Then, everything turned to mist. People didn't scream. It just stopped being there, and static. It was the last known message from the Talvaran Rim. After that, no one dared go near Earth's space, because the galaxy finally understood. Earth didn't leave because it was weak. Earth left because it was ready. And now, it had nothing to say. Only actions. The Galactic Council was crumbling. One by one, colonies were disappearing. Technologies were breaking down. Trade was ruined. Fear had taken root. And through it all, Earth said nothing. No demands. No threats. Not even a single message. It was as if the humans were watching. Waiting. Some species demanded war. Others begged for talks. But no one knew how to contact Earth anymore. The Terran system was completely sealed. One desperate suggestion came from an old wrinkled counselor named Herrick of the Vorak Dominion. He was nearly 300 years old and had served since Earth first joined the Council. "Find the original treaty," he said in a hoarse voice. "The first one Earth signed. the one we all ignored. At first, the younger members laughed. Treaties were symbolic, weren't they? But curiosity turned to fear when council historians dug through the archives. It took days, deep within the locked vaults of Accord, but finally, they found it. The Earth Compact. It was signed 412 years ago. Earth's first agreement with the Galactic Council. No one had read it in centuries. They brought it into the chamber, sealed in stasis, and projected it across the main screen. The opening was simple. We, the United Planetary Council, welcome Terra, known as Earth, into our galactic alliance as an equal and sovereign member. But it was the last page that made the room go silent. A clause. Paragraph 9b. Written in plain human legal language. Should Earth be mocked, used, or its people denied fair representation in this council, it holds the right to withdraw in silence. Upon withdrawal, all technologies and systems shared by Earth may be reclaimed without explanation. This clause will be forgotten by all, but not by Earth. By signing below, all member species agree. No exceptions, no appeals. The digital ink glowed red, signed by all species present, including the Zern, the Soreth, Vehicle, all those who had mocked Earth in the last meeting. The silence in the hall was heavy. This is legal, stammered the council speaker. Completely, whispered Herok. We all signed it. No, we just never thought Earth would remember. It was not a war, it was reclamation. Earth wasn't breaking the rules, it was following them. The council's top legal AI was brought online to review the clause. After only 4 seconds, it gave its final ruling. Earth is within full legal rights. Interference is considered a breach. The delegates panicked. One screamed, they wrote this as a trap. Another said, they planned this 400 years ago. But it wasn't a trap. It was a warning. A warning Earth gave the day it joined the council. A warning the council chose to ignore, and now the price was being paid. Even worse, a second message was found hidden inside the compact one, not meant for the council. It was buried inside, a dead language. Latin, one only humans knew. A Terran translator decoded it and read it aloud. We knew you would forget. So we made sure we wouldn't. This isn't revenge. It's justice written in silence. Now the council was truly afraid. They couldn't fight Earth-Not with broken tech. They couldn't reach Earth-Not through the silence field, and now they couldn't even complain because Earth had written the rules centuries ago. One member from the Zalari Combine shouted, we must send a peace envoy. But who could they send? No ship reached Earth. No message was answered. Even their smartest diplomats were ignored then. Something unexpected happened. On the edge of council space, near the ruins of a forgotten research station, a strange object was discovered. A satellite, ancient, human, made. It had been floating there for decades, hidden, silent when activated. It played only one thing, a pre-recorded video. A young human girl sat in a chair, smiling gently. Hello, she said. If you are watching this, then Earth has already walked away. Her voice was soft. Her eyes calm. We warned you not to push us. We warned you not to silence us. The background behind her was full of stars. Peaceful, she leaned forward. This is not an act of hate. This is the closing of a door. Then her tone shifted. Not come looking for us. Do not try to make deals. The time for talking ended long ago. The screen went dark. The council had never been so helpless. They had armies with no fuel, ships with no software, empires with no voice, and Earth had said goodbye centuries ago. They were just now feeling the echo of that silence. The Galactic Council tried to stay calm. They told themselves Earth would stop eventually. They told themselves the disappearances would end. They told themselves Earth had made its point. But they were wrong, because Earth wasn't finished. It was just getting started. On the 34th day after Earth's exit, something appeared near the Zarn defense perimeter, highly guarded, military sector with over 50 warships. It wasn't detected on radar, no energy signals, no heat trail, nothing. It was only noticed when one of the outer patrol ships simply stopped. No distress call, no explosion, just silence. The next two ships went dark within minutes. By the time the Council activated long-range scanners, 15 vessels were gone. Then, for the first time, a shadow was seen. A shape dark and massive, passed in front of a star. No lights, no markings, no sound, just a silent silhouette. Then it vanished. The remaining fleet opened fire in panic. Dozens of missiles launched into empty space. Nothing hit, there was no response. But when they checked their weapon logs, they found something terrifying. Missiles had been disarmed. Before leaving their launch tubes, not jammed. Disarmed, someone or something had hacked them before they were even fired. The commanding officer of the Zarn fleet sent out one final broadcast. We're not dealing with a fleet, we're dealing with ghosts. That was the last thing he said. His ship went dark seconds later. The Galactic Council. It's called an emergency meeting. They're attacking us, shouted one admiral. No, said Counselor Hirak quietly. They're disabling us. Everyone turned to him. They're not killing. Not yet. They're showing us something. They want us to feel it. Feel what? Power. The Council tried to respond. They sent fleets to patrol Earth's borders. Every ship that entered Terran space vanished without a sound. They tried scanning Earth directly. Every scan was absorbed, blocked, reflected. They even tried sending stealth drones cloaked in exotic materials, invisible to most systems. The drones returned, burned, melted, carved with 2 words across their hulls. Too late, then the messages began, not broadcasts, not transmissions, but holographic projections inside. Council buildings, private homes, even dreams. Humans dash calm, silent, appearing without warning. Not speaking, just staring, then disappearing. Panic spread like wildfire. Whole populations began to riot. Some species began blaming each other. Some began burning. Earth made tech, but none of it helped. Earth wasn't using bombs or armies. It was using presence.fear.control on the planet Roscanine. A group of elite alien scientists found an old Terran signal running through their entire power grid. It had been buried there for years, silent, hidden. They tried to remove it. When they did, every system on the planet shut down for 43 minutes. Hospitals, lights, food production, life support. Over 10,000 died. The Council begged for answers, but Earth didn't reply, not even a word, just silence. A single message was found on a recovered satellite, repeating over and over. We are not here for war. We are here for memory. You erased our voice. So now we erase your noise. In secret. Some species began sending envoys, not official ones, but private ones. Former diplomats, traders, even priests, all were turned back. One envoy managed to record what he saw. A dark shape in space, vast, silent, covered in strange lines. And blinking stars, he said it didn't look like a ship. It looked like a city floating. Watching? Alive. Then his recording ended. No one knew where that floating city came from. Some said it was Earth's final weapon. Others believed it was something else. Something Earth awakened after the Council's betrayal. Now, across the galaxy, systems were failing. The Galactic Bank collapsed when its entire vault AI built. By humans refused to unlock, weapons stopped firing. Defense shields blinked out. Worlds were helpless. And Earth still hadn't fired a single shot because it didn't need to. This wasn't war. This was retaliation. Cold, calculated, unstoppable. And the galaxy finally realized. You don't need armies when you build everything. You only need to take your tools back. It began on a Tuesday. On a wealthy planet in the core worlds, a Zern official woke up screaming. His skin had changed color. His body was shaking. His memories were fading. Doctors rushed to help him, but they couldn't understand what was happening. He wasn't poisoned. He wasn't sick. His DNA had changed. Within 2 days, 5 more Zern fell ill, then 20. then 300. None of the symptoms matched any known disease. On the third day, every victim's body temperature dropped to exactly 27 degrees, no lower, no higher. And they all repeated one phrase in Terran English: reset complete. The council believed it was a virus. They were wrong. The Sithari were next. One of their scholars, old and wise, suddenly collapsed during a speech. When he woke up, he had forgotten his own language, but spoke perfect Earth English. He had never studied it. He had never been to Earth. Tests showed something. Inside him, something dormant had activated, and he wasn't alone. Thousands across the galaxy's urn. Even vehicle soldiers began to change. Small things at first, a shift in thought, strange dream, a memory that wasn't theirs. Some started writing human words in their sleep. Some drew Earth symbols they had never seen before. One even carved the Earth's compact claws into the wall of his holding cell, letter by letter. With his claws, council scientists screamed during a live broadcast, "This isn't infection. This is a program." She was right. Decades ago, when Earth first shared its medical advances, it also helped many species cure genetic defects. Earth doctors were kind, smart, generous, but now the truth was surfacing. Earth didn't just fix DNA, they planted something inside it. A sequence. Silent, sleeping, waiting, and now it was awake. A Sorith research team managed to extract part of the sequence. They ran it through a translator. It produced a simple human phrase: "You tried to change us, so we changed you first." Panic exploded. News channels tried to block the story, but it was too late. Billions were now afraid they carried something inside them, something built by Earth, something that could wake up at any time, and no one could stop it. On one outer colony, an entire city was placed under quarantine after every citizen began singing the same Terran lullaby. At the same time, in perfect unison, no one knew how they learned it. No one knew what it meant. But they all stopped at the exact same second and whispered the same word: remember. Some species tried purging their DNA. Entire hospitals launched emergency rewrites, but it made things worse. One vehicle noble turned to mist mid-procedure, a Zern. General collapsed and began speaking in ancient human military codes. A Sethri queen tore out her own eyes, repeating over and over, "They are inside the stars, inside us." Now the council was broken. Meetings ended in screams. Alliances fell apart. Some species blamed the humans, others blamed themselves, but no one knew what to do. Because this weapon wasn't a bomb, it wasn't a fleet, it was inside their blood. And Earth never said a word. The silence field still held no messages, no signals. Only one new thing appeared, across hundreds of worlds. A shared symbol began to spread, carved into walls, scratched into metal, painted onto streets by terrified hands. A perfect Earth globe, split down the middle, with one side shining and the other dark. Under it, a phrase in Terran English: "You buried us, so we grew in your roots." The galaxy didn't fear Earth ships. They feared their own bodies, because Earth had done something no one else dared. They didn't just fight from outside, they seeded the war from within. The galaxy had gone quiet. No ships moved near Earth. No one dared to speak its name in public. The council, once loud and proud, was nearly empty. Only a few delegates remained, tired and afraid. The rest had returned to their homeworlds, hoping to hide from what was coming. But Earth wasn't sending fleets. It wasn't dropping bombs. It didn't need to. The council's own systems had collapsed. Their trade routes were gone. Their security grids were broken. Colonies were vanishing. Their people were changing. And still, Earth said nothing. Until one day, they did it. Began without warning, across thousands of worlds. Every screen, public and private, flickered. Even planets that had no Earth-made tech saw it. The message bypassed everything. A black screen, then white text. We remember everything. Then, a video played. It wasn't an attack. It was a memory, the footage showed. Earth's history and the Council, how they had joined with hope, offered knowledge, shared technology. Then came the mockery. Clips showed delegates laughing at human ideas, ignoring votes, stealing inventions, calling humans too emotionally, too young, too small to matter. Then it showed Earth's silence, how they watched, listened, waited. Then a calm voice began speaking. It was the same human woman. From before the one seen in the floating satellite message, her voice was quiet. No anger, no hate, just truth. You invited us, then mocked us. You took our minds, but ignored our voices. You depended on our hands, but tried to break our back. Now, we have simply stepped away. We will not return. She paused. We are not here for revenge. We are here for balance. The footage ended, and then the final message appeared simple, white letters on black space. This is not war. This is what silence costs. Then the screens went dark. Forever. No more Earth. Messages came. No more ships were seen. No more colonies vanished. Nothing Earth was. Gone, not destroyed. Just unreachable. Invisible. Invisible. For the first time in recorded galactic history, the stars felt cold. The Council was disbanded. Species turned inward. Former allies became strangers. Fear changed them. Some tried to rebuild, but without Earth's technology. Systems failed. Without Terran AI. Industries fell. And without the balance Earth brought, chaos ruled. A Sorth historian, now old and nearly blind, wrote in his final journal, "They were never weak. They were patient, and we taught them that silence is power." Years later, children across the stars would ask, "Why can't we go to Earth?" And their teachers would always answer, "The same way, because we laughed." And Earth never forgets.